it going, everyone? The one MFP here. I hope you're all having a great day today. It's time for me to react to a third track off of No Fun Intended by Tyler Joseph. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing here today. In case you missed my reactions to any of the other songs I've reacted to off of No Fun Intended so far, you could find them in the playlist I have linked down below. So I have a No Fun Intended playlist. So far I reacted to Blasphemy and Drown. This video right here will be put in that playlist as will any subsequent reactions to No Fun Intended content. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to MFPreacts. I post reaction videos on this channel, so if you enjoy that type of content and you like what you see in this reaction, please take the time to check out some of my other reactions. And if you enjoy those, please subscribe. I always appreciate the support. Now let's get into this. Hole in the Ground off of No Fun Intended. So far I really liked what I heard from No Fun Intended, both from Drown and Blasphemy. I listened to both songs quite a bit after reacting to them. They both feel so raw and pure, so that's something I really enjoy about them. And it's also cool to hear some of the things he's saying, as they're things he builds off of in later songs. So it's cool to see those earlier stages of these thoughts and concepts. But without further ado, let's get into this reaction. Hole in the Ground by Tyler Joseph. Very different beginning so far from what we've heard in the other songs.
But I don't remember where you are and who you know. Come this September, you will fly on your own. 'Cause you got a letter. I try so hard to fly, but my heart won't go very far, no.
This is something I don't hear too often with 21 Pilots songs. This little guitar in the background like this.
The plans that I make, roads that I take, breaks or holes that will go where I don't know they are solid ground illusions that write themselves off as perfectly normal solutions. You just seem oh so far past the stars and past my heart. I can almost feel you when I start, but you were singing with me all along. I try so hard to fly, but my heart won't go. My own two hands will start bleeding again, and my blood will turn to a hole in the ground. Two hands will start bleeding. They will lower me into a hole in the ground.
What was that at the end there? Sounded like guitar strings there at the end. Alright, so that was Hole in the Ground by Tyler Joseph. I was hearing some guitar chords being arpeggiated here in this song, which is a first for me when it comes to anything related to 21 Pilots music. I don't think I've ever heard that type of sound in a 21 Pilots song. So I was pretty surprised to be hearing that in a Tyler Joseph song. At first I was questioning whether I was hearing things right. You know, could it be that it was a software instrument? But then at the end of the song, at the very end, you hear the distinct sound of his fingers sliding off the strings. So I'm inclined to believe that Tyler was playing lead guitar on this song. And I like what I heard out of that. The melody was solid and it complemented the emotion of the song really well, I found. So that's a major part of why I enjoyed this song. Now when it comes to the subject matter, we're 3 songs into No Fun Intended here, and so far all 3 have revolved around his faith and his relationship with God. In this song in particular, it seems like Tyler is struggling with freedom, and the main thing that had me thinking that is he says, "You will fly on your own." This immediately brought me to Isle of the Flightless Birds off of the self-titled album, and in that song he was talking about how we're an isle of flightless birds because we don't allow ourselves to find meaning. We allow meaning to be assigned to us. He talks about how people find worth in giving birth and such. Essentially, I boiled that down to people find worth in things that they feel are meaningful. It doesn't mean that they've necessarily taken the time to understand what is meaningful to them. They just know it's meaningful to the world universally, at least in their mind. And as such, they base their life decisions on those. And furthermore, this limits them in their freedom. The idea is if you could break away from some of these social constructs that you allow to dictate what you believe meaning to be, you can start to be a little bit more introspective, and you can learn to spread your wings by figuring out what is meaningful to you. Now, coming back to Hole in the Ground, in this song, in verse 1, he says, "But come this September, you will fly on your own, 'cause you got a letter. You must find your home, and it won't get much better." So it seems here he's describing a scenario where you're receiving this letter that's telling you that things are going to change in your life. And that brings me to verse 2, where he says, "The plans that I make, roads that I take, break to holes that will go where I don't know." So essentially what I got out of this is no matter what path you take, you're always going to come to some crossroads. Once you reach one of those crossroads, you have to decide which way you're going. Are you going to continue straight? Are you going to go left, right? Decisions need to be made. The issue is you don't know where that decision or that road will take you. So in the following lines, when he says, "Are solid grounds illusions that write themselves off as perfectly normal solutions?" I saw that as Tyler is at these crossroads and he's choosing to go one way because it seems to be the most well-paved road. It seems to be the one that's going to lead to the better ending. So this road is presenting itself as a good solution, as the right decision. But somewhere down that road, he starts realizing that the road isn't all that great. It breaks to holes. And there's numerous ways I'm seeing this. In a literal sense, it could just be a rocky road and things get turbulent in a way. Or he sees it as a situation where, there's an actual hole in the road and he falls into a completely different place once he hits one of those holes. Either way, the point is things don't end up being what he expected them to be. Having been confronted with such situations enough times, Tyler has become hesitant anytime he reaches one of these crossroads. Now going back to the very beginning of this song, that's where the struggle with freedom comes. He has to make a decision, but he doesn't know what's right for him. In moments like those, it seems he seeks guidance from above. You were once oh so close, but I don't remember where you are and who you know. Tyler's in this situation where he has to make a decision, but he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what's right for him, and he's looking for answers. The problem is he's no longer close to that divine presence that he feels is able to give him those answers. Now if we go to this chorus, "I try so hard to fly, but my heart won't go very far, and my own 2 hands will start bleeding again, and the floor will turn to a hole in the ground." Those last lines about the floor turning to a hole in the ground definitely brought me to Slow Town off of Regional at Best, but I think the main thing to get out of this chorus here is he's tried so hard to take advantage of this freedom. Even in Isle of the Flightless Birds, this feeling of duty, of being free, it's all tied to what he believes he is in God's eyes. In Isle of the Flightless Birds, he said how frustrating and degrading his time we're wasting. He was implying that we're made to be free, but we don't allow ourselves to be free because we try and fit in with what's expected of us. So here, if he's having issues taking off, if he's having issues flying, he's going to feel a certain sense of guilt. And maybe that's where this whole idea of him not being close with God here in this song comes from. He feels like he's expected to fly, but he's tried so hard to fly and he has not been able to gain enough momentum to take off. Anytime he believes he's doing what's right, there's a hole in the ground waiting for him that's there to stop him. And another interesting layer we have in this song here is he brings up the disguise once more. He says, "My disguise will take me, break me, won't save me this time." So I think what inspired the words here in this song is that Tyler found himself in a situation where he had been through a lot already, and he knew he was coming to another point where he was going to have to make an important decision in his life. Many times he was able to deal with the holes in the road through his disguises. He was able to put that mask on and say that everything was okay. In this situation, he feels like this decision is big enough that if there is a hole somewhere down the road, his coping strategies won't be as effective as they have been in other situations. That's why in this song he is seeking guidance. He doesn't feel like he is big enough to deal with whatever lies ahead on his own. And if we go to the outro, we have some insight as to how Tyler sees these holes. Do not be alarmed if I fall into the sun. If I fall, and my own 2 hands will start bleeding, and then they will lower me into a hole in the ground. He's using this metaphor of a hole in the ground to allude to a grave. I think that allusion has a lot of layers to it in of itself. You know, if you go through something, you come out of it a different person. Things change after you go through something difficult. So maybe he's afraid of how those obstacles and those issues would affect him. What type of person does he become if he faces one of these holes in the road? In another sense, he talks about how death inspires him like a dog inspires a rabbit. He runs away from it. What if he does something that brings him closer to it? That idea alone terrifies him. So there's multiple ways to look at that, but all in all, the point is he is not confident in his decision making. He feels that he has made wrong choices in the past, and he didn't like the outcome of those choices. So now when he's faced with a situation that he deems to be life-changing, he's trying to make the right decision, but he doesn't know what decision to make. And in this scenario, he's looking for guidance. He feels like it's his duty to fly, but he doesn't know how. And with him saying, I try so hard, it implies that, you know, it's not for a lack of trying. He's doing his best, but he feels like he's letting himself down. He feels like he's letting God down. So there's a lot of guilt embedded in the message of this song. But yeah, all in all, that's what I make of Hole in the Ground. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. You know, I always love seeing what you guys have to say. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. I always appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time. Have a great day, y'all.